I am proud to introduce up to the stage to join me Doug Weaver, the founder and CEO of Upstream Group and senior analyst.
We have, logistically what we're going to do is Kirk and I are going to talk for just a few minutes, and then we'd like to pretty immediately get you guys involved. Nancy, I think we have, 2 or 3 different microphones going around, so be thinking of those questions and those reactions to some of the things you heard from Kirk. First of all, congratulations on a fantastic keynote. I thought that was the right combination of practicality and vision and really honesty about Time Inc. and kind of where it's going and where it can play. I actually want to start there with Time Inc. So I've got a little bit of skin in the game there. My wife is a former Time Inc.er, right? They were one of my first clients. I think the first question that most people will ask is, okay, there's another wave of change going on within Time Inc. You've got Jack Griffin, ascending to the top spot there. Obviously, yesterday, the announcement about Randy Rothenberg joining the company's chief digital officer. So specifically, why now? Why this particular moment in time? Why is this the time that sort of Time Inc. turns it and gets it right?
So part of that question, I don't know that I'm prepared to answer, and the part is why Jeff Bewkes identifies now to bring in Jack Griffin or even Jack's early vision and understanding. While I've spent a tremendous amount of time with him, I don't know that I can answer that. I do know why now is a good time. Now is a great time. And it's a great time because there is a positive energy in the marketplace. Clients are getting excited again. Maybe it's just we believe a bounce is happening. Maybe it's just that the pendulum has swung as far to the side that it can around efficiencies, and everyone's a little tired of cost efficiencies. That's not been a fun time for the last 4 or 5 years. So maybe it's just time that we hit that point where we need to start swinging back. And we believe that storytelling matters. We believe that getting out there and making sure that we fulfill the promise of our brands matter. I'm excited about Jack, because Jack is coming in and like a kid with a new toy day of Christmas, he's excited about kind of playing with his new toy, and it's a cool toy. I don't know if it's okay with the PR department. I just call Time Inc. a toy, but they'll deal with it. I'm excited for Randy. For those of us who know him, you kind of know that guy is just a bundle of energy, and I'm excited about a partnership with him. I can speak clearly for myself. That is a huge win for the company, a partner that I'm looking forward to working with, and I bet I'm saying that for the other digital leaders at the company.
So I want to take a second, just another minute on Time Inc. and on the opportunity ahead here. For those of you who don't know Jack Griffin came over from Meredith, and Meredith is kind of famously known in the space for a lot of cross-dressing, right? In other words, they really kind of reject, even though they're perceived as sort of Midwest kind of white bread company, lots of great old magazines, Better Homes and Gardens, Ladies Home Journal, many others. They're actually quite an incredible stealth company. They own social media assets. They own CRM capabilities. They're fully engaged in the creative process with their clients, and so they've really kind of I think thrown off the shackles of what it means to be a publisher, and they've really embraced this bigger vision of becoming a marketing services organization. Are you seeing that kind of a future ahead? So where do the lines change? What's the role of the agency? What does a publisher do more of going forward?
I believe we all do more of more, right? So the reality is, and we've admired what Meredith has done, and internally, Time Inc. has been doing a lot of innovation around this. So we have internally a group called Time Inc. Content Solution that has built out an internal agency of sorts that works with clients. We have local sales efforts, local strategies, obviously a tremendous amount of social media strategies as well that we employ. As we move forward, we are committed to delivering whatever our advertising clients need, both on the agency and on the client side. We love the role that agencies play today, but believe that moving forward, if the waters are getting more murky or if it's just getting more complicated, that role really is going to be what I think was described yesterday again as, maybe it's systems integrator. It simplifies some of the confusion, help me understand where and how I can activate. We plan to participate in that wherever we've been asked to, and we have to bring that expertise to the table.
So after this question, we'd like to get yours. So if you have a question, if you have a point you'd like to make, or something you'd like to say back, go ahead and put your hand up, and we'll get a mic to you. So one of the things I like to focus on when we talk about sizing opportunities is the cost of the unsolved problem. So you very eloquently talked about, the fact that we have kind of mortgaged the future in service to the present. We've served the bottom of the funnel exclusively. Our math men are really good at only two functions, division and subtraction, right? So we've made this all very, very small and very complex. You're calling for change. I'm calling for change. A lot of people here feel that. But what if we don't get it right? Let's look at the future of this business and kind of let's do the It's a Wonderful Life scenario where we're standing on the bridge and looking at, not getting this particular decision right? If we don't seize the higher ground here, what does this industry look like in 2 or 3 years?
Here's the thing. I love where we are. I love this. I love media. I've been a part of doing digital media since 1996 when I was selling ads on CD-ROMs for PC Magazine, right? And when I started at CNET in January of 1997. I would be very disappointed in us if, after looking at what happened in the financial markets and in the mortgage markets, if after talking, we're the marketers, we're the storytellers. So if we don't know that stories change perception and that perceptions change reality, then shame on us. And if we don't get that right and continue to wallow at the bottom, I think the growth pain is just more painful. And we linger here longer and become less relevant. The very inertia that we criticize analog companies for having, we need to be careful that we haven't developed some of it ourselves, that we've grown roots and that those roots are not helping us move forward. So, I'm trying not to imagine that we don't get it. I'm praying that this is the start of the Stop the Madness campaign of 2011. Let's do something different.
Amen. Amen. Do we have a question out here?
We have
Nancy?
a question, yep.
Go ahead.
Josh Streller, Ford Digital. I'm the technology and analytics lead for my company. I know there's a lot of planners, buyers here. What can I do and what can other folks in the same role in their agencies do, meaning the technology analytics side, to help not perpetuate this crisis, this reports on investment culture? I get brought in without I'm not involved in the creative discussion. I'm more brought in to, create cost efficiencies, optimizations. How do I help not make sure that this continues?
If I can take that, force those asking the questions to ask new questions. You're probably closer to an understanding that the thing that spills off of the current systems don't tell the whole story. You know that probably more than anyone else, but all they're asking you to do is answer a question that feels very immediate. Your efficiency at answering that question is what continues to perpetuate them asking a similar question to that one next week on the same topic. All of us have to now ask new questions. I've said this a few times, but what is the view-through window on my purchase of my first Mercedes-Benz? I've been buying a Benz since I was 12 years old. How do you calculate that view-through window? So when did Mercedes-Benz start selling me their car? When did you start shopping for that dream vacation? Did you start shopping for it next week when you finally got the days, or have you been planning it since you graduated college? And if we don't re-ask the questions, get out of where we are today, we are going to linger at the bottom of the funnel. And the dollars we're costing ourselves as an industry, we're costing ourselves money.
I've got a slightly shorter answer to that, and that's just start leading the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, too often we try to not get the answer wrong. We talk to clients and we say, oh, this is what the client wants, this is what they're asking me for, and we fall into line there. It's a short-term strategy. You get replaced very quickly if you simply cater to the questions being asked. So totally in line with Kirk on this one. And I would say that just in a short answer, Josh, you guys do great work over there at your place. but start distilling that into real insights. So I get closer to consumer behavior, tell the client things that they don't know yet, and kind of force the conversation to a higher plane. That's your defensible ground. Other questions?
We have one right here.
Jason with Initiative. Kirk, could you talk more about the relationship you see between brands and storytelling and brands involved in social conversation and the linkage between those two?
Again, I'm going to compliment Kevin and what I saw them do with Red Bull yesterday. But also, I think today I just quickly got up this morning and saw that another report has come out about the fact that branded content seems to be a very powerful part of storytelling. What we are very excited about at Time Inc. is that we want to start participating with our clients on figuring out what is your authentic message, what is your relevance as a brand among the audiences we've aggregated, and how do we participate in those conversations with you? And I really think that's the changing thing that has to happen, which is advertising that activates those conversations and then making sure that those conversations, those new nuggets of content that you create really speak from an authentic place. And it's hard to get past that without getting to the specifics of an example, but I think that's really what has to be different.
Do we have
one
another
right here? Yep.
Hi. Hi, Tyler Kelly with Centro. This, art we keep talking about, Time Inc. is primarily print. The examples you showed for the best creative were all video, or the majority that we talked about. Do you see Time Inc. moving more to producing more video content, or where do you see the art really happening? I think we're limited in the space we're provided now in a creative aspect. Is there any way to get past it, or how are you guys approaching that?
So while all of those showed up as commercials, I guess I don't process them that way. I just process them as pieces of content. Because as much as they showed up as quote-unquote TV commercials, they got more distribution through online than anything else. Some of them manifest themselves in magazine ads as well. So I look at it as just content creation. What we are as a content company, we love being a magazine media company. We believe our magazines start conversations. They hold the topics that pull people together. But for us, video as a tool for distribution, we are going to be producing more of that. You're going to see us continue to invest heavily in making sure that our website experiences, both our social experiences as well as our own websites, continue. And this year we've been very proud of what we've done with the tablet marketplace. First with the iPad, with just sort of creating a new experience on that platform to display our content. And if any of you have downloaded a People app recently, you see a lot more video in the app itself that goes along with the sort of the typed storytelling. So expect just more, but it's all going to be about our brands and the content and making sure that that's available everywhere.
Tyler, I want to jump on the back of that. I think that the premise of your question might be a little bit flawed in that I think we're still thinking about content as sort of something that gets sort of encapsulated and delivered. And in fact, I thought one of the most powerful metaphors that Kirk used early in the conversation was the idea that we've been focused on the recipe for cake, or we've been focused on the cake itself, which is the content. So the recipe is the algorithm, the cake is the content. And he said, no, actually what we need to be focused on is like the eating of the cake, right? We need that, that sort of moment in time. So I loved when you talked about the social network effect. I loved when you talked about the idea that we were going to be optimizing and enhancing this content for sharing, so that the consumers in the act of reading that content and in passing it along and adding to it and so forth. So it calls into question the ability of the content company to sort of surrender some control, right? To let that happen. But I think that's really the way we need to be thinking about this whole notion of content, is that it's a participatory relationship with the consumer, right? It's them eating the cake and telling their friends about the cake and so forth. So, there's more to come there. I think your question about video is an important one, but I think that, the impact that we have in the market is going to be that echo effect that we create among consumers. Nancy, Kevin?
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.